Hey all, here at OS Reviews. Today we're taking an unboxing first impressions look at the BIGBIG WON Rainbow. In terms of design, it might be one of the coolest controllers I've seen because it is completely translucent. You can see all the circuitry underneath. Again, this seems to be kind of a trend these days, as we've seen just the other day, two other transparent tech products. The translucent design also goes hand in hand with the RGB LED backlights on here, so it can shine the colors of a rainbow, as the name here implies, which just looks really cool in the dark. Now, unfortunately though, this is a wired controller, so you do have to use it with either a Windows 10 computer, or you can use it with a PlayStation, Xbox. It's all compatible there, but I do wish that in a way they could have built in a rechargeable battery and also made it compatible with, say, Android phones, or wirelessly connect it to a switch. That could have been even more versatile, but it is what it is. And it also packs in vibration motors, which can basically give you a more realistic gaming experience, as well as having everything customizable, even things like the colors and the lights. And the way that you control the lights is actually via a companion app on your phone, which is, again, a little bit ironic, the motion control, so you can also use it for racing games as well. So pretty versatile, at least in that particular sense. And just a kind of example of what it looks like. It is, again, wired, so there shouldn't be any latency issues here. Customized chip. There's a quick user guide telling you how to set it up with the different LED lights we'll correlate to. Down below here we have the cable. So again, there is no built-in battery, so it needs to be wired at all times when you're using it, and it is using just a full-size Type A on one side and then plugs into the controller using micro USBs. Almost immediately, again, this thing looks really cool, I have to say, especially as you are able to see all the circuitry and then all of the motors for the vibration on the left as well as the right sides that will spin when it's turned on can also be found here. Quite a large motor, in fact, to give you better haptics as you're gaming. This is made out of a glossy plastic material, but the keys do feel pretty clicky and tactile. So there's two shoulder buttons, as you can see there, and the middle here is where you plug in the micro USB cable. Finally, on the back, I think it looks even a little bit cooler because you're able to see the processor, that M3 chip, is right below there. Here's a side profile look, and again, very shiny plastic here, but overall feels quite comfortable in terms of weight, over 430 grams. So pretty standard as far as controllers are concerned, not too much heavier or lighter than a standard Xbox controller. What's left to do is just plug it into power and check out the lights. A warning though is when you first turn it on, the vibration motors will start to spin just to give you kind of a calibration effect, so it will kind of buzz a little bit in your hands. So there we have it, you can see it actually spinning there. The way that the LED lights here are just on the rim does make it look really cool, I have to admit, especially, again, like I said, in the dark. Once you dim the lights, it just looks even cooler, this gentle aurora or rainbow effect as it just is randomly strobing along. One thing I do wish though is maybe the keys here can also be a little bit easier to see in terms of their backlight, if they kind of shine their way through. So that would have been maybe one thing from a practicality or accessibility point of view could have been even better. But overall, again, just looks really cool. And here's what it is from the back. So the light is not quite as consistent there. As far as using it to navigate things is concerned, there's really not much to say here. Everything feels quite precise. It is just a pretty standard controller at the end of the day. Plug and play as long as you have a USB port available on your device. Gaming bar here just by a click of that key. Of course, that is variable depending on what device and platform you're using. Feels good in terms of the amount of weight and actuation to press on those corresponding keys and getting triggered. So if you tap on things like the shoulder keys, you can see that the additional LED lights on the edge here also can flash. And here we have the BIGBIG WON app. Now, once we are connected, we can change things like the lights. So this is the orange-red mode, golden age, which is just a more yellow color. So some presets. There's also aqua green. All of these are slowly breathing, so they're not just sitting on one static color. So pretty cool looking. Rose violet is another one, ending with hot pink. We can also change things like, instead of the presets, we can apply a custom color. So if you want to tweak it to a specific color wheel, you can also change it to one consistent shade or even a white light if you prefer, versus a color on the left side and the right side. As you can see there, can both be split, which is really cool, as well as you can change a breathing effect, as well as a uniform effect, a flashing one, which is a bit more strobe heavy, and also a rainbow flow, but you can set this up for only one side if you prefer, or for the flow to change at different oscillations. The app, though, definitely has a few translations and spellings and needs to be corrected, so it's not perfect, but the functionality, though, is straightforward, and connecting it is quite easy. Other controls here include the trigger key, so pressing it once can trigger, let's say, 20 shots at once or up to 90, instead of having to press on it repeatedly. So you can have a few shortcuts for it to be mapped on high performance mode versus a smooth mode versus delay, depending on your preferences of how you want them to work in terms of latency, as well as things like the kind of gyroscope and even the intensity of the motors can also be adjusted. Even the keys down below here can even be remapped if you want to. So that's more or less it as far as our hands-on look at the BIGBIG WON Rainbow controller. Again, just the design in general is extremely cool with all its dazzling lights. You can check out more details if interested in the links down below. For now, that's been our video. Thanks for watching here at OS Reviews.